You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Thank you so much for joining us here at 6 a.m. Hopefully you're having a good start to your day. I'm Neda Iranpour.
And I'm Evan Irani. We want to get a quick check of the forecast as we kick off our Thursday morning here. Things are comfortable, very similar to what we saw for Christmas morning, which was dry, mild, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures a little bit chilly for the morning stretch. We're in the 40s right now, but going to make our way to the 60s by the afternoon. Still just around average, but as we creep toward New Year's, which is less than a week out now, we could be seeing some slightly warmer temperatures in the mix. Coming up, we'll talk more about what to expect into the upcoming weekend and next week as well as we break into 2025.
All right, thank you, Evan. And now, new this morning, we are getting a look at video of a burglary in Bario Logan. Look at that video right there. This happened just before 4 a.m., not too long ago, at Main Street Smoke and Vape. That's in the 2800 block of Main Street. So you see it in the video there, someone in that looks like a light blue sweater breaking the glass on the door of the business. Video also shows a woman being taken into custody. But we just spoke to police. They tell us it's still unclear if she's connected to the break-in. So it's something we will follow up for you and bring you the very latest. But this burglary on camera there in Bario Logan. Also new this morning, 2 people are in the hospital after a house fire in Sara Mesa.
Yeah, it started before 3 this morning in the 2700 block of Melbourne Drive. CBS 8's Regina Ureta has been live at the scene all morning with what we know. Regina, when you were there just over an hour ago, it looked like crews were still on scene. Are they still mopping up?
No, at this time, everything has wrapped up, but I can tell you that just earlier this morning, they have blocked off Mission Boulevard and Irvington just because fire crews were here this morning trying to help put out a house fire. So the house that I'm standing in front of, a very different picture. You're actually looking at video of what it looked like earlier this morning. The call came in just before 3. By 4 a.m., crews had quickly extinguished any flames coming out from this house. Now, according to the San Diego Fire Department's battalion chief, when crews got there, they found heavy fire towards the back of the house. We know 3 people, including their pet, were inside the home at the time. 2 of them were taken to the hospital so they could get evaluated for any possible burns and smoke inhalation. But at this time, we still don't know what caused the fire. Now, the fire department is taking this time to remind people to check their smoke detectors. The holiday festivities are not over and people are still celebrating. So people have their Christmas trees in their home and could eventually dry up. So you want to be careful with that. And of course, we're also in the winter season, people using their heaters at this time. So it's another good reminder to just be careful with those things. So back out here, as I mentioned, the streets are back open. Things have wrapped up here at this time. I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you so much for bringing us the very latest out of Sara Mesa. And now this morning, as you see here, an investigation underway after another fire, this at the old In Cahoots building in Mission Valley. Big flames taken over. Firefighters remained on scene for hours yesterday to prevent this fire from spreading to nearby buildings. In Cahoots has been vacant for nearly 6 years. Popular bar back in the day. Just 2 months ago, the same building caught fire. They also responded to a fire outside the building back in 2020. We found several Get It Done reports about encampments at the site over the past few years. Right now, millions of Americans making their way back home after Christmas. Airlines do expect the busiest travel days to be today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We checked, there are just over a dozen delays coming out of San Diego International Airport. So get to the airports early if you can, check your flights. But AAA says nearly 90% of holiday travelers are actually driving. So the best time to hit the road today would be before 11 a.m. The busiest times out on our freeways between noon and 5 p.m.
If you can get out there before the noon hour, probably preferred. This morning, the city of San Diego will kick off its 51st annual Christmas tree recycling program. You can drop off your tree at 16 different locations. You are reminded to remove all decorations and please only drop off real trees. You can also put your tree into your green bin as long as you cut it into pieces so that lid is able to close. The trees will be turned into high quality compost and residents can pick up that compost. It's wood chips, mulch products, compost, all free for that program, and it runs through January 16th. Well, Kwanzaa starts today. The week-long celebration began back in 1966 as a non-religious way for African Americans to reconnect with their ancestral roots. A candle is lit each night on a 7-branch candelabra called the kinara. The candles are 3 colors, black, red, and green. Those represent the people, the struggle, and the future. Each day of Kwanzaa represents a different principle. They are unity, self-determination, collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. The World Beat Cultural Center in Balboa Park will also hold a celebration. That's going to be at 6 p.m. tonight. And today, several Hanukkah celebrations will also be held across San Diego County. Last night marked the start of the Jewish Festival of Lights. Liberty Station will hold a menorah lighting at the Central Promenade. The lighting will be held at 5 p.m. next to Rady Children's Ice Rink. This morning, Sesame Place will kick off its Hanukkah celebration. Guests can spin dreidels with Elmo, see the menorah candle lighting ceremony, and dance to music at a holiday dance party. And Del Mar Highlands Town Center will have a menorah lighting. That takes place at 6 p.m. tonight at the Upper Plaza near Sinopolis. And it's the day after Christmas. Today, shopping malls will be filled again with people now returning some holiday gifts.
Yeah, time to think, do I really need this
Yeah.
or should I go try to get something else? Some retailers, though, could charge you to take those items back. CBS News correspondent Josh Sidorowitz has tips to help you save money.
It's just so easy.
Queen Stewart probably speaks for a lot of us. The mother of 2 does most of her shopping online, which means
So I'm going to the return.
she's bound to send some of it back.
I'm writing a description as to why this needs to go back. And hopefully I won't get a fee.
More retailers are now charging return fees as online shopping has exploded since the pandemic, according to David Morin from logistics company Narvar.
We are seeing about 20 to 25% more retailers on our platform charge for returns this year than last year.
Abercrombie, J. Crew, Saks are some of the big names that have added fees specifically to ship returns back. Narvar estimates a $100 item could cost a retailer $32 to restock and resell. The good news, avoiding a fee can usually be as simple as taking it back to a physical store. And before you go, get a gift receipt.
This makes returns or exchanges very quick, hassle-free. If you don't have a receipt, many stores will offer store credit or even a gift card instead.
Stephanie Carls from Retail Me Not says it's also important to check the store's policy. Some retailers, like Apple, only allow returns on certain items until January 8th.
Another tip is to keep items in the original packaging. Even if that item was a gift, having original packaging and tags increases your chance of getting that full refund or exchange.
And if you are sending back a gift bought online, make sure you read the fine print and see if the retailer offers a free return label. I'm Josh Sidorowitz, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Yes, good luck making those returns. And now Holiday Bowl festivities start today. Snapdragon Bowl Bash will be held in the Gaslamp Quarter tonight. So you're looking at video from last year. Of course, the same teams will not be coming back. No Trojans in town for this one. The free event is happening from 5 to 7 p.m. with the Battle of the Bands at 6. It will feature the University of Syracuse and Washington State University marching bands going head to head. They will be at the corner of 5th Avenue and Market Street. You'll be able to hear them from blocks away. The bowl game is tomorrow at Snapdragon Stadium. The Holiday Bowl is happening tomorrow. This morning now, a high surf advisory still in effect here. Lifeguards warning about poor surfing and diving conditions. It is rough in the waters. This is video from Tuesday, actually, when the waves got as high as 6 to 10 feet, some as high as 13 feet. That's over at Windansea. According to the National Weather Service, waves reached about 6 to 8 feet yesterday, which sets up to 11. Lifeguards are warning beachgoers to distance themselves from the ocean. The advisory will run until 4 o'clock today. It was supposed to end Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
It
it's
got
supposed to be
extended?
yesterday.
Okay.
And now it's extended, unsurprisingly, because those wave heights are still pretty high.
It's wild. It's like a washing machine.
It
in
really
there,
is,
so-
especially with that risk of rip currents.
Yeah.
I mean, that stays tremendously high when we have these more intense waves. It also coincides with the time frame that we have a lot of visitors in San Diego who tend to think that they can just hop in the water. It is better that you check in with a lifeguard before you get in that water at all, whether you are experienced or inexperienced, but it is going to be more likely that we see those more experienced surfers in the water for today as this high surf advisory stays in effect through 4 p.m. So still looking at 6 to 10 footers, up to 13-foot sets possible. When we look at the satellite radar imagery that we have overhead, cloud cover is light, but not very, not even moderate, I'd say. So for the most part, what we're seeing is just a partly cloudy start to the morning. Once the sun does come up in a matter of minutes, really, we'll start to get some of that light coming through. We're already watching as a little bit of light starts peeking through from Mount Soledad. A couple showers that are off toward East County and mainly from the mountains to the deserts. Not very impactful as we start off the morning. What we're watching for to the north of us around Northern California is the arrival of another Pacific storm system. These storms have been arriving really day after day from Northern California up through Oregon and Washington. So the Pacific coast in general, the West Coast, has been getting pummeled by rain, but only if you're essentially north of Central California. South of San Luis Obispo, LA, San Diego, we've all been below normal on our rain totals for the season so far, and it is very likely that we will round out the month of December in just a few days below average on our rain totals. It's going to stay dry for the foreseeable future. It looks like current temperatures out the door are in the 40s, 41 right now in Poway. Ramona is at 35 degrees, 46 in La Mesa, 45 in Del Mar and Encinitas. So a cold start to the morning, good idea to bundle up, and then by the afternoon we'll make it to the 60s. Going to get us a little bit warmer, not by much, but will get us back to a more comfortable range. And those rain chances, again, stay pretty minimal through the new year. Let's check in on your drive times. Unsurprisingly, like we've talked about all week long, people have been not driving to work as much, not dropping the kids off at school as much. So the roads are pretty clear. 805 northbound, 94 westbound, 5 southbound, all looking pretty good as we start off your Thursday morning here, the day after Christmas. Checking in on your border wait times. Christmas Eve was a very mild day. It was about a 15-minute wait each direction for San Ysidro Port of Entry and Otay Mesa Port of Entry. Look at the waits now, 170-minute wait for the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Could take you about 3 hours to get across. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is going to run you about 80 minutes, so still tremendous slowdowns across both of those ports of entry.